to the very first live stream of Fabric February 2026. I know we're not quite there yet, it's still 2025, but we are happy to have Mr. Ben Weissman join us here for, is it our Christmas edition? Is it just a community edition? Who knows?
We just played a jingle, so it's Jingle Bells. It's a Christmas edition.
Exactly. All right, so welcome, Ben. How about we start? We know you well. Emily and I have known you for years, but for those who are unfamiliar with you, who are you? Why are you here?
I got an invite, so I showed up. It's what I do. But also,
I think we lost Catherine.
I think so too, but she will be back, and she's met me before, so yeah. I'll just see. There she is.
I clicked a button and then I disappeared. As my
apparently, I have no idea which button it was, but don't click it anyway. So, enough about you, more about me. I'm Ben, based out of Nuremberg, Germany. I've been active in the data community for a bit over 10 years now. In my day job, I focus on data warehousing, analytics, which coincidentally also happens to happen in Fabric sometimes, which is one of the reasons why I'll be at. I know it's a miracle how these things sometimes go together. And in my non-day job, I just play with all things data, and I also try to make our community a little better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes people just don't listen. I mean, it's all the thing.
But it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You are our special sponsor, our special Fabric February friend. You wanted to focus on the data community. So talk us through that. Like, why is that so important to you?
So first of all, why didn't I want to just be a regular sponsor? Because your event is happening up in Norway, in case you didn't know. There is zero economic benefit of me sponsoring with like a proper booth and all that. So there's the question, why am I not a quote unquote regular sponsor? Still, we try to find, or I try to find events that we think it's worth giving back to, because I think they're doing the right thing, because it's doing a good cause. Again, it's a way of giving back. Technically, you're at a point where you don't need that anymore, but even at the very first event, you were super successful. But when you launched the event, nobody knew if you were going to be, let's face it. So I was, Emilia and Martha, they both started at events that I'm co-organizing with William. They both started at New Stars of Data. So I figured, okay, this is a great event. You had lots of new people there. So you just did a couple of things that I feel like an event should have. So it was a fairly easy choice, to be quite honest.
Was it the snacks?
It was the snacks, okay. I feel seen.
But apart from the snacks, what is important to you for you to feel like this is an event that I want to help, I want to see them succeed, I want to help promote and get as many people in? What are kind of like the biggest factors for you in that?
The biggest factor to me is new faces. Or let's say a good mix of all the new faces. I love meeting old friends. Honestly, it's one of the reasons I attend conferences in general. I'm usually to be found in the hallway track more or less exclusively, because unless it's a very super specific session, I usually don't learn well in sessions, unless it's like, I want to see that specific person present on how they present a specific topic. I usually learn better in different ways, which I maybe shouldn't say coming to a conference like yours. But anyway, I love meeting existing and old friends that I in times haven't seen over years, but I also love meeting new friends. So I want to show up at conferences or be involved with conferences in whichever capacity, being it as an attendee, as a sponsor, as a speaker, as organizer, as whatever, if those conferences also make room for new faces. And especially I thought we were all on a very good way. And especially over the past couple of, I'm going to say year and a half, lots of conferences kind of have gone back to being the cool kids club. So every single will have the same names. You can go through the list of speakers. Like, I know this person, I know this person, I know this person. Whereas if I'm looking at your schedule, there's lots of people that are very close to my heart, but there's I've never met this person. I want to meet that person. That's what I'm here for. So, and I think every event should kind of put that on their priority list / agenda of also making room for new people, because that in the end is everybody really welcome at that event in whichever capacity? Or are you only welcome if you're bringing in the big bucks by paying for a ticket?
Yeah. Do you think it's an economical question rather than speaker preference, or why is that they turn out to go back to the cool kids club, so to say?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, first of all, if you're running a commercial event, you need to have some people that you just know, okay, they're all reliable, super solid presenters. They know their stuff. People will not just learn something, but also be entertained. They will bring in people to fill those seats. It's easier for a free event than for a paid event. And I get that. I think in part it's people maybe being lazy, but just playing it safe. Because having been involved in this community for so long, I know so many people that I know are amazing presenters. I wouldn't even need to run a call for speakers. I could just email like 50 of them. I know at least half of them would show up. And we can have an event playing it super safe. I know every single session would be amazing and I would meet 0 new people, except for potentially some attendees. So playing it safe is probably one of the things. The other thing is also people potentially trying to please their friends, because all of these events, how many sessions are you going to have at February?
Many.
Ish?
Yeah.
Many. Okay.
40 something.
40 something. How many submissions did you have? I assume more than 40 something.
Yes, at least 10 times that.
See, which means you're going to say no to 90% of the submissions, which at least equals to 50% of people, assuming people submitted 2 sessions on average, and usually it's slightly below that. That also means you're going to have a long list of friends that you're going to say no to.
Yeah, that's true.
Why would you pick that person that you've never met, that you don't even know if they're a good presenter, over me, since we've met years ago and you know how good I am? And I think all these things come into play. And again, I understand, depending on the size and everything of the event, a couple of different rules apply as well, even more so when it comes obviously to something like a training day. Would I pick someone that has never presented before to present a training day on a niche topic? No.
Yeah.
It would neither fill the room. It would probably be super overwhelming to them as well, because if you've never presented before and now you're standing in a room of people for an entire day, I'm not saying you can do it, but do yourself a favor and try something a little smaller than that and work towards that pre-con or training day or whatever you're going to call it, pre-con, post-con. I mean, every single event seems to have their own naming convention for that as well these days. To me, it's going to remain the same thing. It's a full day of teaching, even if you're sharing it with somebody else. So the same rules don't apply to every single session type and not to every single event. But I've seen more and more events recently where I feel like, okay, this is really just the organizers' friends and some celebrities on that stage. I mean, one event basically verbatim stated on their website recently that they don't have room for new presenters because they don't feel like their event is for them. Like,
so they're
really?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
But do you think that the flow of new speakers have kind of slowed down, or do you think that you've been too successful in new stars of data and now everyone's a star? Or do you think it's from the organizer side?
I think it's mostly from the organizer side. So we are seeing a slowdown in submissions to new stars. We still get more submissions than we have slots every single time. By the way, call for speakers is still open. Same thing, we just closed the session selection for Data Grillen, our in-person event, which also has the newcomer track where all of that came from. Again, we have 6 newcomer slots to give away, and we had about 30 submissions for that. So the ratio is slightly low. We're still saying no to. And there's a couple of people in there that I will happily say no to, because if your bio starts with that you're a world-renowned keynote speaker, you may not actually be a new star. Maybe our rules were just not clear enough. Or maybe I misunderstood them, who knows.
I mean, the title is a little difficult to understand, new stars of data.
There's also that. And given the number of MVPs that keep submitting to this event every single time, just because it pops up on the interwebs, is like, okay, maybe we need to work on our comps. But that's an us problem. We'll work on it. We'll try to get better on it. I still think it's the organizer part, because on New Stars and the newcomer track so far, we had about 250 people that went through the program. There's others doing the same thing. Benny de Jager, Olivier van Steenland, and their team at Data Minds Connect. They've been doing it for years. Data Scotland's been doing it for years. So I'm going to say all of those combined, we're probably talking, I don't know, 400 or 500 people. Out of those 400 or 500 people, it's not like all of them kept pursuing that, because many of them were like, okay, I tried it. It was nice, or potentially even not so nice. It just wasn't for me. There's other things people can do, and we can talk about that a little bit as well. It's not like, oh, we now have so many new stars that there's no room for new people. And also there's people over time just doing less, or actively being like, okay, hey, I'm done with that. Our friend Alan White, who I think 2 years ago was like, okay, my last conference to attend will be the PASS Summit in Seattle at the time. After that, I may show up to my local user group, but that's about it. There's people leaving. There's also people moving to different technologies. So people that move into a very heavy Databricks focused or Postgres, for example. Or there's some overlap. There's events that focus more on that. So it's not like there's no room for new people.
Yeah,
for sure.
So what I hear is, organizers, for all of you watching and listening, give space for new people and encourage them and help them. But also for those listening who might be interested, how can we help them? And that's kind of on the topic here today. Like, how can getting involved with the community help their career? Because from what I saw before I became a speaker myself is, you see all of these celebrities on stage, like, you know, the big names, they're authors, they do training days and sessions, and you're kind of watching them in awe, going like, wow, they're really good at that. Like, there is no way that I can get up to that level. But there is such a range of things that you can do in the data community, right? You don't have to take that step on a big stage. So from your perspective, Ben, what are some of the things that people can do that can really boost their career?
I will answer your question in a second. I still want to add to what you've said before, because first of all, I hear so many people that imposter syndrome, basically. First of all, you don't have to replicate exactly what that person on stage is doing. And also we have so many people that have been presenting for 15, 20, whatever years, and they're really shitty presenters. Super smart people, really shitty presenters. So don't try to be like all of them, please. And then there's also these people, and I think that kind of applies to all the different things you can do that are like, oh, I don't have a story to tell because I've only been doing this for so and so long. Well, shockingly, the number of people that have 5+ years experience in Fabric, for example, is shockingly low.
Yeah.
And not everybody needs to give that session on a very specific deep dive feature that I've been working on for the past 20 years. And I think that applies not only to speaking. I personally enjoy speaking more than anything else. It's just my preferred medium. And if that's on a stage or if that's by doing a video course, that's kind of on par for me. I don't really like blogging. It's not for me.
Same for me.
I've written a book or two, but only because I wanted to do something with friends. So would I ever write a book by myself? No. And same thing goes with, and then there's other people that really, really enjoy blogging, that are able to basically, they would be be able to produce a blog post like almost every single day on something. I'm like, that's super impressive. So find your medium, find your channel, but everybody out there has a story to tell.
Yeah, when I got started, freshly out of school and going into the data community, I actually used your blog, Catherine, for Azure Data Factory stuff because they were just so well described and the steps were easy to follow. So I could kind of replicate what you were doing, but for my use case. So it's not just about finding your forum or how to communicate your knowledge, but also being able to do it in such a good way that you also help others to turn that into something that they can use for their specific use case as well. And I'm like you, Ben, I don't like to blog either, or I don't see myself as a blogger, at least now. We'll see in the future, nobody knows, but I prefer speaking and connecting with the audience rather than putting the letters to the page.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you say there about my blog and kind of finding your voice and your story to tell, because I went into that, and this was 6 years now, 6 years ago. So it's been a while. But what I did was I went through that journey of learning Azure Data Factory. I went through all the pain points of like, how does this work? I don't understand this thing. How do I put these pieces together? And I basically decided to share that learning experience in a structured way through a series of blog posts going like, okay, if I were to explain this to myself a year ago, how would I do that? And I feel like everyone can do that in some way, whether it's spinning up your own blog or on LinkedIn, or maybe you prefer talking, you can do videos on YouTube, or I mean, even Twitch live streams. It could be a challenge to kind of build up that audience from the beginning, but I mean, you all have to start somewhere. So find your medium and tell your story. And I think you had a great point there, Ben, where you said that find someone with 5+ years experience in Fabric. I mean, you can't, because new stuff is happening all the time. And even now this fall with Fabric IQ launching, just a couple of months ago, we're like, whoa, what's this thing? It's a big new thing, and no one has worked with it. No one knows how to kind of apply it, how to get the most value out of it. If you're using it in your company, just write a blog post. This is what we did. This is how we figured things out. And I feel like some of the things that I enjoy learning is where it's not just success stories. It's like, this hurt, but we worked through it in this way.
For sure.
Yeah. And well, first of all, 100%. The other thing is, even if you're still convinced that you don't have a story to tell, where again, everybody's saying that you're wrong, so very wrong, and we can have a very educated discussion over it, over water, lemonade, or beer. But everybody has a story to tell. One of our former news stars, Rosie Jurovich, she told the story back then on how she basically got into information technology without having any actual support network from her previous job, and basically how she became self-taught and all. And I think it's now a couple of months ago, she announced that she's now the AI leader at a big financial corporation in the UK. So
that's really cool.
Even if it's something non-technical, people can still learn on how you learned something or how you taught yourself something. But even if you like, I don't want to blog, I don't want to speak, or you can just volunteer at events like yours. All these events, they need helpers, and I assume you're still looking for some, unless the list is already full.
Please join us as volunteers.
People need to hand out badges. People need to count rooms. People need to just make sure every speaker has what they need, etc., etc. All of these ways of, and it's not just a way of giving back. It's a way of connecting with people. And these people, these connections, they're going to be so super valuable, both for your professional and your personal life, because you're making tons of new friends, but you're also meeting all these people that you can just ask about something that they have the answer to.
Yeah. That's the great thing about networking at these conferences, and also networking with speakers, because what I tend to do now, if I have a problem with my use cases, or I can't really get started on solving the issue that I have at hand, I know that there are people within the community that can help me, and sending them a LinkedIn message it's so much easier when you have had a conversation or connected with them at a conference previously than being just out of the blue. Hey, can you help me? I know that you're a Power BI expert and I need your help. So yeah, really utilizing that network for those questions as well, because most people are just happy to answer questions when it's about something that they know, or they refer you to other people that might know the answer to the questions if they don't have them. So yeah, utilizing that network for
I mean, what many people don't realize, all of these speakers at those community conferences, they're doing that for free.
Yeah.
It's not like people are doing that, at least for like the regular sessions and lightning talks and all that. If you're working for a full day, things usually work slightly different. But all these speakers that you're going to see on the Fabric February Thursday, they're presenting on their own time, on their own dime, which means they're super passionate about what they're doing there. So you're not asking someone for free consulting. Just don't overdo it. Become friends with the person first before you try that. But you're chatting with someone about something that they're super passionate about. So keep that in mind. These people they're not those super rock stars and celebrities that you can never approach and that will be taken away by their bodyguards right after their session. No, they're all there for exactly all those conversations.
I think we just validated your statement earlier, Ben, that you were trying to do all the things for the community and hoping that it works. I think it works.
Yeah. So, Julia, another one who was part of the new Stars of Data that you organized. And she is now a Databricks MVP, which is similar to the Microsoft MVPs, but focusing on Databricks. And I've had the pleasure
So what you're saying is she's a big deal.
She's a big deal. I've had the pleasure of working with Julia, and just seeing her go from presenting the first session there to having her story being like blogging through LinkedIn, sharing things, sharing updates about Databricks, getting involved in that community, becoming an MVP, and that is kind of a prime example of how just doing something small can really skyrocket your own career. But I think it's also very cool that you mentioned that you don't have to be that public person either. Volunteering is absolutely something that can help your career without you having to become have your face plastered all over the internet. Not everyone wants that. I mean, some of us are more happy to to be visible, but others are like, that's not for me. But you can still build that network, get to know the people that you can have those conversations with, and maybe 10 minutes at a conference as a volunteer when you get one-on-one time with the speaker can solve something that you're working on. You go back and you're the hero of the day in your own company, right? So I think it's a very good point to highlight. There are many ways to kind of be part of the community. But it does take time, right? It takes time, it takes energy, and in some cases, it costs money traveling to these events to be a part of that. And what are your thoughts around that, Ben? How can we help the people who are busy with their own families, their own lives, their own hobbies, but they still kind of want to advance their career? What do you see are the best opportunities for them?
I think it's just two different audiences, and we got to understand and respect that. Like, for example, our in-person event, Data Grillen, is always going to be an in-person event. We're not going to go hybrid. We're not even going to try, starting alone with budget reasons, to be like, oh, we're going to record every single session in high quality as others are able to. We can't. That's one thing. And at the same time, we got to respect those people that for whichever reason, and that reason may as well just be, well, I don't feel like getting off my couch on a Saturday anymore. I did that in the past, and I just feel like weekend is weekend time now. On making sure that, at least for the content side of the house, we make this accessible as possible. So New Stars of Data is a pure virtual event, which means you don't need to travel to speak there. You don't need to travel to meet with your mentor. You don't need to travel to see those or to attend those sessions. We're doing this other thingy, William and I. Next month, we're doing the third iteration. Both of you were part of our first one, Data Left Unattended, because we see this trend of speakers being like, oh, I'm kind of done, especially those that have been doing this for a while. I'm kind of done with virtual because I'm talking into my computer all day anyway. I kind of want to meet people. So we're bringing the speakers together, but there's not going to be any attendees. We're basically live streaming the entire event and then going to put it on YouTube shortly after again. So as many people as possible can actually consume that content. And some of those videos have thousands of views, actually, depending on the topic, depending on the speaker and all that, obviously. So we have to make the content accessible. It's not going to help with the networking part, and I don't have a good answer for that. I yet have to see a single event that really did good on the hybrid part. I've been to one single, and that was the past summit, I'm going to say, in 2021. The one that was purely virtual, may have been 2020 as well. I don't remember. It was purely virtual, so everybody was virtual. And they had a really nice virtual community zone and all that. So you got to hang out at least with people that you haven't seen in a while. I still didn't meet a lot of new people there because for that, the boundary is even higher to just chat to someone in the virtual hallway. So I don't know about your perspectives on it, but so far I have yet to see a great way, especially in a hybrid way, because I think we're done with big virtual events. I mean, New Stars of Data, that's a small event. For live watchers per track, if we get 50 to 60, that's a lot. Most people are consuming it afterwards. And that's what I'm seeing for most of the other virtual events as well, especially with the content being available on demand shortly after.
Yeah.
And even there, we only have a Teams chat. So I don't know how we can include those people better that are entirely unable, besides giving them forums, besides inviting them to be part of these virtual events and try to keep motivating them. And it works in parts, but I do understand that this is way harder because if it's in a hallway chat and there's a bunch of people talking and you just see that one person, usually there's one person like inviting them to join the group, and then they can still decide whether they want or not, or do not want to do that, because maybe they just prefer on being on themselves and just sorting some of their thoughts from the previous session, or their social battery is just running on fumes at the end of the day. All been there and done that. So, but yeah.
I think sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that one thing that I recently discovered being a huge thing, which I might be late to the party, not gonna lie, but for people that are not really able to go to conferences or attend or travel a lot or read blogs or stuff like that, but they want like a discussion forum, then there's like a huge community on Reddit as well that are at least very closely related to Fabric, which a lot of the speakers are also that are attending conferences or are speaking at conferences, that they are also very much a part of that community and answering questions and sharing their knowledge there as well. So there is a possibility of having a more conversation there than, for instance, reading blogs, where you don't really have the ability of having that conversation if you didn't understand a step or the concept that were described. So Reddit might also be a very good place for people that are only able to attend or be present online.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Especially because it's asynchronous.
Yeah.
You can ask a question anytime, people can respond. I mean, This is one of the very few instances where I'm super sad that Twitter, or X, as the new kids call it, is not a thing anymore. At least not for me. And most people that I know of also walked away very far from that platform, because as many bad things as I have to say about it these days, this was kind of the go-to place, and now it's all of kind of cluttered and fragmented. There's LinkedIn, there's Reddit, there's Blue Sky. And I agree that Reddit kind of seems to become, especially from a forum perspective or a question perspective, the kind of new hashtag SQL help, which is what we used back at the, before the cloud and all of that, and before Fabric, or even before Synapse. But that was kind of how people also got into a conversation. The thing is, though, you can use Reddit to ask your questions, and you will get lots of shitty answers, but you will most certainly also get your proper answer by someone that really knows their stuff. And there's people that will be super helpful and all that, and not just have run your question through ChatGPT and pasted the answer. Even though some people seem to think this is an acceptable way of being helpful, it is not. It's also not helpful.
Tell us what you really feel, Ben.
Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah, but
then again,
think
I could, because I mean, I'm angry about these people doing that, but there's so much more people that actually are doing the right thing and are honestly helpful. That I'm filled with more joy than anger. So we're good. Thank you, Simon. But yeah, they will get their answers. They will still not really meet those people, and that's kind of the thing where I'm like, I don't know how we can bridge that gap of making these people really, really part of our community.
Yeah, but I feel like that's also okay in a way. You can kind of still be part of the community without being one of the most active, sharing, visible people, because like if no one had an audience who were consuming that content, we wouldn't really have a community, right? So maybe you can still contribute by being someone who actively follows blog posts, subscribes on YouTube, even just a like on LinkedIn can help someone kind of find that content. And maybe something that you can do is just take that and share it with your internal team at work, helping your coworkers. And I feel like we kind of have to encourage people to do more of that kind of sharing without it having to be for millions of people, because it can really help your career. If you become the go-to person in your company, that could be the reason why you get promoted next year, right?
I'm getting promoted?
Oh, you're getting promoted, Ben.
Been waiting for the past 20 years. It's finally happening.
Well, I don't know how you can get promoted above running and owning your own company.
Chief Nerdycorn.
Chief Nerdycorn. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's going to be my title from next year. Then again, it kind of sounds like what Alex Whittles is doing. I think he's calling himself the Chief Frog, if I've got that correct.
That could be, yes.
So maybe let's not do that. But 100% agreed. Also, one thing I would encourage people to, if some piece of content really, really helped you, let the author know. First of all, it's going to encourage them to do more, but also it really makes our days if there's somebody that's like, oh, by the way, you just saved me a month of work because I was going to do that and I did not know. All I need to do is this tiny bit. So super encouraged. It's also going to help us make better content, because also maybe, you kind of started here, but I was kind of missing that. So maybe maybe they will even write a specific blog post or video or whatever just for you. Even if not, it's going to help them. I 100% agree on that career part. They will still miss out on probably becoming proper friends with all the people that I've become friends over the years. Still,
and we
since
will
our
miss
topic
out
is kind
on
of
getting to know them.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get Nerdycon Legos.
No, or shirts, or
which we may have a few at Fabric February.
Are you going to bring them?
Of course.
There's an announcement here. There might be Legos. That's going to get us at least we're going to sell 20 tickets right now. That's people can get Nerdycorn tickets or a Lego.
It's so cute. And the t-shirts. Are you bringing t-shirts as well?
I will have to see about that, depending on how much space I have in my luggage and all that, because I've also learned shipping stuff to Norway from Germany is a bit of a pain.
It is.
Not more of a pain than shipping stuff to the US, but...
No, you just have to grab a couple of friends and you can all bring a couple of suitcases and then it's all going to be fine.
You're going to get that sorted out then. No worries. We believe in you.
We'll figure it out.
Absolutely. So we talked about this earlier, but I feel like it's always important to have these conversations around imposter syndrome. It's something that comes up every single time I talk to people, and I feel like we all feel it, no matter where we are. And maybe especially now with things moving so fast, what kind of advice would you give to people like when we get updates every week, every month, new features, and we can barely keep our heads above water as it is. And it kind of gets hard if you've positioned yourself as someone like, I kind of know Fabric, and then a month later it's like, I know nothing.
No, you don't.
What advice would you give to those?
I mean, the button you were going to show me doesn't even exist anymore. So what do you even know about Fabric?
True story.
Well, I think that the fact that the world is moving so much faster now is actually playing into the imposter's favor. Hear me out on that. Okay. If we think back a couple of years before everything was cloud-based, I mean, I'm a SQL person. I still do tons of on-prem stuff. I was actually using Biml today. You were going to love that, Catherine. So, because I still think if you're doing on-prem, SSIS is still the way to go. I understand lots of people are moving away from on-prem, but in the on-prem world, you would always be like, okay, by the time a new SQL Server comes out, and we just had SQL Server 2025 drop last month, and it is true. Many of us got early access. Many of us got, especially if you're an MVP or something like that, get direct access to the product group. So we actually do get that head start. In the Fabric world, things are much, much different. Do MVPs sometimes get a little spoiler on what may happen? Yes, sure. But things are moving at such a fast pace. First of all, there is no way we can keep up with that ourselves. And it's happening so fast, there's no way that that feature that just dropped, anybody has been playing with for like a year or so in some kind of private preview, because those cycles are getting so much shorter. So no matter where you are, if you're passionate about, let's take Fabric IQ, which has just dropped at Ignite. I'm still trying to figure out what that actually means. And I hope many other people are in the same boat. Otherwise, it's just me being dumb. But that might be a great start. A blog post, Fabric IQ, what I think it means. Or something like, everybody is starting at the same level. Nobody has that 1 year head start. Which also means don't be one of those know-it-alls that pretends that they had that 1 year head start, because I'm pretty sure 1 year ago, not even anybody at Microsoft had that head start. Because things are moving at such a super rapid pace. Also, specifically to Fabric, I mean, one thing that Microsoft is super good at around Fabric is their roadmap. They're publishing, at least ballpark-wise, what you can expect when, which means you can still kind of prepare yourself looking, okay, which of these topics are kind of interesting to me, because I think I'm going to need them for a project, or just because I think it's going to be something super cool, or whatever it may be, and kind of prepare yourself at least time-wise. Like, okay, this is going to drop in March, so I'm going to block off a day or two in March of exploring that new feature and then sharing my first views on that new feature. You could make it a thing of making a series on picking one Fabric feature per month that you just share your first experiences on. And it's still going to be so helpful to so many people, and nobody else had a head start.
Yeah,
At least
and
not a
that
proper one.
yeah, and that's an interesting comment, which brings us over to the topic of authenticity, finding your voice, sharing your story. Um, I don't know how you feel, but when I see something on LinkedIn that is clearly Chat GPT, or even like LinkedIn has its own AI kind of rewrite thing now, I think we all get that. I'm so tired of this because no one has a voice anymore. But what you're saying now, I feel like that's a good opportunity to just go, this is what I think. This is the conversation that I had with coworkers. These are the questions that we have that we don't have the answers to yet, and kind of start that conversation. So what do you think? Do you think like the fast pace could also help with authenticity if people actually just use it as a way to, let's talk about this, and not I have the answer to everything?
Wow.
If you play your cards right, most definitely. Which also applies to the entire AI thingy. I mean, there's good use cases for AI, and there's some really bad ones. Like that other YouTube show I'm doing with my friend Jess, Finding Data Friends, where we're publishing a new friend because, like I said, I want to make so many new friends, as many as possible. So we are publishing an episode almost every week on YouTube, and our announcement is always, as you can clearly tell, AI generated, because I'm making a couple of notes for that session, and then I just have ChatGPT create that little announcement, which I think is a very fair use case because I'm not actually generating the actual content. It's just a spoiler on the content. So don't create your blog post using AI. Don't create your LinkedIn post using AI. If you're like, well, I wrote this 3-page blog post and I kind of want to announce it briefly on LinkedIn, I think it's a fair use case. For example, be like, hey, ChatGPT, please summarize my own authentic content and bring it out there. Don't just make it a fancy way of plagiarizing other people's stuff, because people will notice. Also, the AI, this is going to be shocking for all of us. Sometimes it's wrong. I know.
It's insane. Yeah.
So play your cards right, and for the authenticity part. And also basically what you said earlier, Catherine, you're going for all these pain points, trying something out in an early stage. You can help people not to make the same learning experience, which can be painful in parts. In some points, you may even come back to your very own blog post a couple of weeks later. I mean, again, I'm not a blogger, but the number of people that keep telling me, you know what, and then I was trying to solve that problem, was Googling it, and there we go. First result was my own blog post, because seems like that same problem myself before months, years, whatever ago.
Yeah.
Potentially just blog for yourself. Make it a public diary.
Exactly. That I feel like that's been good advice for as long as I've been involved. You don't even have to publish it. Like it's nice if you do, because you are going to help someone. They're going to find it at some point, but use it as a diary, as a journal. Even if it's something as simple as writing that journal, and then in a year from now, if you're in like you're meeting with your manager and you're talking about your career internally, like you can kind of reference your own blog and say like, hey, listen, I've had this entire learning journey. I've taken steps in my career. So there are always ways that you can do things that will help you.
And always keep in mind, there's nobody out there that knows everything. So we had a session at Past Summit by Stephanie Rees, part of our New Stars track there. And her session was, so the session title was, you can do what with SQL Server? And I'm going to say it was 50, maybe it was 40, but a ridiculously high number of features that she just briefly touched on, and being like, did you know there's this and this and this and this? And you had some super seasoned SQL folks in the room, and I'm still 100% sure none of them knew every single. Of course, many people are nodding a lot because they were like, well, yeah, I've done this before. I know how this. Oh, and you could see by their facial expression, like, hang on, I don't need to write this much code. I could just do this. You will always have one answer that someone in the room does not did not know before.
Yeah. So share like the things that are completely obvious to you. There's going to be a ton of people who never knew that existed.
Yeah. I've also actually experienced it the other way around, where I've done a presentation and I focus on specific parts, and then people come up to me afterwards and say, well, did you know this about this? And you can also think about that. And as a speaker, that gives me great advantage on advancing my session or creating a totally new session where I find new items that I could also look into. So it goes kind of both ways. That you help maybe specific people with specific issues, but you also get some feedback back, which can also give you some inspiration on what to do next. So just keep on giving that feedback and asking those questions.
Yeah, and I think that's also one of the takeaways for me is we need those new people in our community. We need to invite them in. We need to bring them in because we need those perspectives, those voices, and those like just completely different experiences that they've had. I've been lucky to have younger coworkers coming in, and they are blowing my mind with their use of AI tools in the right way. Like when they pull up Cursor and they connect to, like, one of my coworkers created a Fabric MCP before it was an official thing, and he was like, "No, I just coded this weekend, and now I can do all my AI stuff building things in Fabric." I was like, I thought you can do that. But I feel like that's also part of the community. Like it's up to each and every one of us to just grab one person, invite them in, and help them connect with others and get that experience. And I think that is super important, that we can do so many things in networking in the community and building the community without it having to be tied to like producing content.
For sure.
I was going to say, it's not about quantity. You don't have to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. You don't have to have 1,000 people in the room and all that. We did a New Stars Q&A at the PASS Summit last month, and there were, I'm going to say, 13, 14 people on the stage. It was over lunch break, so there was less people in the audience than people on stage. 3 of those people in that audience have already submitted to the next New Stars.
Yay!
So it's not about, they're so they love. No, we're not going to do that because it's not worth our time. If you only have that one person in the audience that you help fix that specific problem. Fighting data friends, same thing. We don't get thousands of viewers per episode, but it was actually last year. Somebody came to me at a conference and was like, I just wanted to thank you for doing that because I watched a couple of episodes on people that I knew were going to be here, and it really helped me to start a conversation with them because I knew we had this and this in common and all that. So you don't need to reach the entire community with whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
By the way, you never will.
You never will. Oh, that's a great way of doing it. Like, go and find people, connect with them, and use something as an icebreaker. I don't know. Do you still ask everyone on Fighting Data Friends what favorite cheese they have?
No, our favorite cheese, that was actually Mark Price Mayer. We just asked for your favorite food.
Oh, favorite food. Okay, yes. But that is a good icebreaker.
Yeah. I still owe Jess solid Norwegian tacos. So I should ping her about that.
There's that.
But on that topic, Ben, what is your favorite food?
Yeah, or favorite snack, more importantly.
It's a moving target. It really is.
Is it though?
And since this is not Finding Data Friends, I'm allowed to give 2 answers. Oh. If I had to pick between 2 foods that I will eat for the rest of my life, it would be sushi and pasta.
Oh,
good choices.
Pasta. I'm very, very fond of pasta. We eat a lot of pasta at home.
And that's the thing. If I only had to pick one, it would be pasta, just because it's still so generic that you get all the variety and everything out of it. And that's, see, it's kind of not fair what I'm doing here, because I would never accept that on our show, because people are usually super generic with, well, no, some of them are super specific. It's this very specific bread that only uses the flour that comes from that one single mill where I live in. Okay, and then there's, well, my favorite food is basically all food. I was like, no,
Hot
No,
food.
but pass. Then again, Jess's answer to the question, "What's your favorite food?" was butter. So I feel like there's still an ongoing discussion if that even counts as a food or as a condiment.
Yeah. The
She's
things
also
you
thinking
learn.
of making sculptures, like ice sculptures, but out of butter. So I
What
know
about snacks?
it sounds more disturbing. No, it does not sound. It sounds exactly as disturbing as it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider butter a snack. Hopefully not.
Jess
Could it
would,
be a
and
snack?
see this. It really shouldn't, but I
One of
mean,
those little like single serve packets of butter, like it could
No,
be.
but like you can whip them into like creamy butter, and then
Oh,
but you have to have some kind of bread or carbs with it.
yeah,
Then it's a snack.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
a good bread with just butter on it, that works. Just the
Mm.
butter part. But then again, Jess and I, we agree to disagree on that. Either way, I think she needs to come to Fabric February at some point.
Yeah.
For those tacos, which aren't really tacos, but it's also confusing.
You don't like tacos?
I love tacos.
Okay, good.
No,
I was concerned.
no.
but yes, we
California
do.
style shrimp tacos would be my favorite. Just to before
I
anybody
don't
asks.
think we will be serving shrimp tacos as Fabric February snacks, but we have. I
Well,
think we
probably
cover basically everything else
Yeah.
in the snack category. So we
everything
want to
but
make
shrimp
sure that
tacos.
everything but shrimp tacos and single serve butter.
Yeah. We won't have that.
No,
Unless it's on top of popcorn.
that is true.
Which
So-
kind of makes my point that it's a condiment. It's not a meal by itself. At least it
I-
shouldn't be.
Yeah, I feel like we touched on like a slightly difficult topic here. I think we're gonna let you and Jess sort out whether butter is a snack or a condiment or a food.
I'm
But
gonna
for
let you in on a
Fabric
little
February,
secret about that. So one thing that we did that we're now trying to sneak in the word butter as often as we can because I wrote a little script using SQL 25 because we're trying to find real life use cases. So we're basically using a REST API to grab all the subtitles and then use vectors and all that to figure out the most used words. And butter is not even in the top 10 yet. So Jess is on a mission to change that. So if you keep hearing us say butter, it's
I love that. So we're close to wrapping this up, but for community at Fabric February, for those coming in, we are lucky to have a bunch of people who are coming back for the second or third year, but we're also going to have a lot of new people coming in there. What advice would you give to them for like a one-day conference, Fabric February specifically? What advice or maybe even challenge would you give to them during the day?
meet as many people as you can.
Yeah.
You can always find that content in some other place. So also learn as much as you can because at the end of the day, this is a learning conference. It is also many of you are getting sent there by your boss who's paying for it. So also make them happy by coming back with like, look at all the new fancy things that I've learned. But don't be afraid to skip like one slot or so just to chat with somebody about something that you have in common, about something where like, oh, this is the person that can answer that question.
Yeah.
Connect with as many people as you can.
I think that's if I can also give a challenge to our attendees and also our speakers, because it also goes for them. It would be if you attend a session that you really liked and you learned a lot from, go and talk to that speaker after the session, because if you can go back to your boss and say, I learned this and this and this, then that's so valuable, and there's so much value that you can bring to a company with that. But if you can go back to your boss and say, I also now know this person, that's a huge
I'm now
amount of
besties
value
with them.
right there. Yeah. Just because you have somebody that you can ping and ask for other use cases that you might have later on. So that would be my challenge. Do that at least to one person.
The first 3 people that will come to me, say hello, and be like, "Hey, I saw that live stream," they're gonna get a Lego set. How's that?
Oh my God. Okay, so let's just make that crystal
by the
clear.
way, you two, you do not qualify.
Oh.
It has to be new people.
New people.
But
I
let's
will
just
also
say that
also
again.
promise to bring more than just 3 sets, so it's not only gonna be these 3 people, but the first 3 all you have to say is say hello, tell me who you are, and tell me that you think you're one of the first 3 people, and if you are, Nerdycorn Lego set. How's that? And at the end of the day, if you feel like it, join us for a fun round of bingo.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm looking forward to that bingo.
Me too.
Not in the sense of being at Fabric February, which is clearly true that I'm going to be there, but for the bingo specifically.
And again, me too.
Again, yeah, community. Like it's sometimes also about the fun, not just the learning. We have fun and learning via bingo. That's amazing. I love it. All right, so I see we're getting very close on time here. Is there any like final thoughts or rants or praise that you want to give to anyone, Ben?
No rants, because again, my heart is full of joy, not full of anger. I want to thank the 2 of you, well, actually the 3 of you, because there's also Martha, who I've just seen in the chat. So hey, Martha. Looking forward to see you as well in February. Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being one of the conferences that definitely is doing the right thing and is helping to get new faces, both on stage and just through the door. If you see how successful you've been for the first 2 episodes, and I'm 100% convinced this, well, technically next year, will be no different. It also proves you right that you're doing the right thing here. So thank you very much for that.
Thank
you for very kind words.
Thank you. All right. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us, Ben, for being a great supporter, not just for us in Fabric February, but for the entire community. Like you said, hundreds of people have been involved in new source of data and the different tracks. And yeah, all of those people that they have helped, it's just expanding. So thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy your holidays when we get to that. Recording this late December, so we're getting close to a little holiday break for all of us. And hopefully we'll see all of you at home as well in February.
Yeah. Get your tickets now.
Get your tickets. All right, hang on. One more thing. Where is it? There is it. There, get your tickets. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Bye. Bye, Ben.
Ciao.